Just a second, sir. We are going live also. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We can start.
दोस्तों सभी को डॉक्टर N.K. शर्मा का नमस्कार। मैं रेकी हीलिंग फाउंडेशन की तरफ से आप सब लोगों का स्वागत करता हूं। दोस्तों, जैसे कि आप सब हम जानते हैं, हमारे साथ जो भी लोग आज जुड़े हुए हैं कि हम कोई न कोई वर्ल्ड के अलग अलग फील्ड के, मिस्टिक फील्ड के जो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, हम उन एक्सपर्ट्स को आपके साथ उनको मिलाते हैं और उनके काम का परिचय करवाते हैं। कारण क्या होता है कि ये ऐसे विषय है जिसके बारे में आज के लोग बहुत अनजान भी है, और जबकि ये विषय इतने इंटरेस्टिंग और बड़े लाभदायक होते हैं एक मानव कल्याण के लिए, लेकिन लोग जब उस विषय से अनजान होते हैं तो रेकी हीलिंग फाउंडेशन का ये पर्पस है कि वो विषय हम आपके सामने लेकर आए। See, there are so many different experts in this field, and they are working since so many years, but people are unaware of their work. So, Reiki Healing Foundation always striving to bring these people, and so that you can recognize their work, and you can know in another what's called field in which how they are working and how it is beneficial for the mankind. तो आज हम उसी के बारे में जानने जा रहे हैं। हमारे साथ में जुड़ी हुई हैं हमारे बर्ज स्मिथ, जो कि USA अटलांटा से हैं। शी इज फ्रॉम अटलांटा और करीब 38 साल से चैनलिंग में काम कर रही है। चैनलिंग के बारे में हम ये वर्ड हम बहुत कम सुनते हैं इंडिया में। इन इंडिया वी हार्डली वी हियर दिस वर्ड। तो इसीलिए चैनलिंग वर्ड कॉमन नहीं होने के कारण हमने इसके बारे में आप लोगों को जानकारी देने के लिए ये आज प्रयास किया है। चैनलिंग का मतलब होता है कि वो एक माध्यम बनकर वो जो दिव्य आत्माएं होती हैं, जो डिवाइन सोल्स होती है, जो स्पिरिट्स होती हैं, वो उनके साथ कनेक्ट होती हैं, एक हायर सेल्फ के साथ, एक हायर सोल के साथ, एक असेंडेड मास्टर्स के साथ ये लोग कनेक्ट होते हैं और एक ध्यान की प्रक्रिया में जाकर, और उसके बाद में फिर वो खुद वो नहीं रह जाते, तो उसके बाद वो डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेशन उनके साथ जुड़ जाता है। फिर आप जो भी उनके साथ क्वेश्चन करते हैं या आप प्रश्न करते हैं, तो वो सीधा आपके सामने जो जवाब आता है वो उनके अपने कॉन्शियस माइंड से आता ही नहीं बिल्कुल भी, क्योंकि वो जब जवाब आता है तो आप हैरान हो जाते हो कि ये जवाब ऐसे कैसे आ गया, इनको पता कैसे चल गया। यानी कि वो आपके जीवन से संबंधित जो भी आप प्रश्न पूछते हैं तो वो ऐसी ऐसी बातें बता जाते हैं कि आपको लगता है कि ये तो कोई भगवान ही जानता था या मैं जानता था और इनको पता चल गया। तो इस तरह से चैनलिंग में क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे आंसर्स के हमें जवाब मिलते हैं। तो वी गेट लॉट ऑफ आंसर्स फ्रॉम हायर चैनल्स, असेंडेड मास्टर्स। और दूसरी बात क्या होती है कि इससे हमारे लाइफ के जो भी इश्यूज हैं जिसके बारे में हम थोड़े वरीड रहते हैं, तो उसका हमें जवाब, एक सही रेमेडी और जवाब मिल जाता है। इसलिए हम लोग चैनलिंग करते हैं। अभी रिसेंटली बर्ज स्मिथ जो है इंडिया गुड़गांव में आई थी, हमारे घर पे भी आई थी, और हमने उनका वहाँ सेशन भी रखा था। करीब हमारे साथ पूरे दिन भर हमारे साथ में थी, और हमारे यहाँ पे 2 घंटा उनका ये चैनलिंग का सेशन चला, जिसमें करीब करीब 25-30 लोग बाहर अमेरिका से भी आए हुए थे और कुछ लोग इंडिया के भी थे। सबने मिलकर बहुत सारे अपने प्रश्न पूछे और उन्होंने जिस तरह से जवाब दिया और जिस तरह से मैंने उनको चैनलिंग करते हुए स्पीड के साथ उनका मैंने कम्युनिकेशन देखा, मैं वो वाकई में बहुत हैरान कर देने वाला था। यानी कि मुझे भी, हालांकि मैं इसके बारे में सुनता जरूर था, पर मुझे कभी ऐसा प्रैक्टिकल देखने का मौका कभी नहीं मिला था, क्योंकि मुझे कोई इतना इसमें मैंने ध्यान दिया भी नहीं था। लेकिन जब मैंने उनको देखा कि वो कैसे ध्यान की गहराई में जाकर एकदम ट्रांस में चली जाती है और तुरंत स्पिरिट के साथ कम्युनिकेशन करना शुरू कर देती है, और ऐसी ऐसी बातें बताती है कि जो जनरली वो नॉर्मल लोगों को पता भी नहीं होती। तो हमने भी ऐसे क्वेश्चन किए और हमें जवाब मिला, तो हमें लगा कि वास्तव में ये बहुत ही पहुंची हुई महिला है। यानी कि, और वैसे भी ये US में बहुत पॉपुलर है, और अभी मैं यूएस जा भी रहा हूं मैं मई महीने में, तो उस मई महीने में इनसे मुलाकात भी करूंगा। तो आप लोगों के साथ मुझे इनको जोड़ना था, और ताकि आप लोग भी इनका लाभ उठा सकें चैनलाइजेशन का। तो आज चैनलाइजेशन क्या होती है और क्या इसका बेनिफिट है, वो हम लोग समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। सो टुडे हमारे साथ अलका, अगर ऑडियो ऑन हो चुका है तो मैं अलका को इनवाइट करना चाहूंगा, जो टेक्सास से हैं और वो जो बर्ग स्मिथ के साथ में बहुत अटैच्ड है, काम कर रही है। तो अगर अलका जी हैं तो मैं उनको बुलाता हूं, और अदरवाइज I straight away I hand over to Burge Smith so that let her take over the stage, and she can now guide the people. Yeah, Burge Smith, you are welcome. Reiki Healing Foundation welcomes you.
Oh, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I hope everyone can understand me.
Yeah. Because normally our most people are Hindi speaking people, but they understand definitely English also. So you can speak in English very well, no problem.
Okay, thank you. And it was just an honor and a gift and a blessing to be with you in India. It was fabulous, and to be able to meet you and your wife and to be able to connect with what's going on and what you do in the world is just phenomenal. And so welcome everyone. I know that you are very well aware of what Reiki is and what he offers and the whole foundation offers. And we're going to have Alka is she's on the chat. So if you know how to use the chat, you can ask questions if you want to through the chat, and or she can also translate for me as well if for some reason I'm not able to understand what you're saying too. Okay. So she's on, but she can't.
I just I introduce you that what you are working and what is this channeling, because normally a lot of people do not know this word at all in India, because see, the two word mediumship and channeling is absolutely I can say it's an absence word in India. Basically, it's really, I'm telling you.
It's a what kind of word?
See, mediumship and channeling, these two words in India is very, very uncommon. Even educated people also do not know. Only those people who know those who are into occult sciences or in mystic sciences, energy healing, they only know this word probably. And moreover, only certain people would normally visit America and they might have gone through some channeling or mediumship. They only know. So very, very few people know. Therefore, I wanted this this wonderful technique. How do you perform and how do you guide the people? People should know this channeling. Therefore, today we are with you.
Thank you, thank you. And so, just so you understand, everyone, that everybody brings energy in different ways. Everybody has their own gifts. So you have a gift of bringing in information from other dimensions, from spirit, from other areas in the world where you can't see necessarily. It's information that is messages or direct type of connections. Some people are looking for clarity. Some people pray. Some people meditate. Some people bring in, they have intuition that they tap into, and it's called a lot of different things around the world. And so what I do with Shamanasta is what we call trans channeling. Everybody has, like I said, gifts of either bringing in information through knowing. They have a knowing. Have you ever said something to someone and you realized, oh, that was the perfect thing to say, but you didn't know where that came from necessarily? And it's a knowing that you have. And then some people have a feeling. So some people have these feelings around things, and it's their gut feeling or their intuition. Some people see things, they're clairvoyant. Some hear things, they're clairaudient. So what channeling is just another form of getting information. And what I do is I actually access information from a group soul, and it's fifth dimension. not for, so we have so many dimensions that we live in. Third dimension is who we are here with our bodies. This is third dimension, what we can feel, see, know, and think, and smell and touch. But fourth dimension is where the mediumship works, where you can connect with others who have perhaps gone through the veil, we call it, or who have passed away, or who have gone to another place, to another side. That's fourth dimension. Fifth dimension is a higher consciousness, where it is more of the angelic realm, okay? Where there are angels, and there are teachers and avatars, and where people that maybe have been incarnate here on the planet, and then others, maybe they haven't been here before. So it's a combination of souls, they call themselves a soul group. And so they come in and they channel through me. And what I do is I allow myself to just get the information, and it comes through, and I don't remember, it's what we call a trance channel. So I'm in a trance. And it's sort of like you're in this higher consciousness of meditation, but you're also bringing in information, and they're speaking through me. So it's just a way that they can bring in information for people to get clarity. They answer questions. They give information about what's happening on the planet, or globally, or esoterically, meaning that there's they can answer a lot of questions that you might have about why am I here, or what is happening, what happens when we die, you know, those types of questions, or very specific things to you, like, what am I going to do about my child, you know, or why do I hurt so much, those types of things. And so they are just guides. When we pray, whatever you pray to or meditate to or connect with, it's perfect if it works for you and you're able to really allow it to come through and you feel at peace. Yeah. So this is just another form of perhaps direction and clarity and guidance on perhaps what to understand or feel, or to make sense of certain things. So that's what channeling is. And we all channel, by the way, we all are conscious channels. What I do is it's subconscious or it's unconscious. I leave my body and I bring this energy in just to speak with us. So that's the difference. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So someone asked a question. Should I answer?
Yeah, please, because we can have some question. See, in chat box you can put a question so that she may she will be happy to answer your questions. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. And since you are connecting with the divine souls and you are guiding the people, I think a lot of people might have asked you that what will be the result of this Ukraine war, actually, because whole world, everybody is worried about that, because it's influencing the whole world actually, and the economy also. So what was the answer from your side, actually, from the soul side?
So they do talk about, people have talked about Ukraine, and they've talked about war, and they've talked about the pandemic and COVID and all of those types of things, about why is this happening and what can we do about it? And a lot of and so if you go to shamanasta.com, which I'll put in the chat, there are many archive recordings of their answers of why this is happening. But essentially, if you believe that we are all, it's hard to kind of describe it as to how they explain it, but we can give you a little taste of it if you want, and you can ask that, right? So part of what they have said before about war and those types of things is that if you think about it, the best of humanity comes out when there's crisis, right? When there's a crisis like a war or a pandemic or disease or those types of things, the best of humanity comes out. And so we get to look at the reason why these happen is that humanity is moving toward unity.
Mm-hmm.
And what they mean by that is when you have good and bad, right and wrong,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's duality.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
talk about the duality of good and bad, right and wrong, and they say, look, if we can embrace all of it, it moves it toward unity. And what happens when the really worst things happen, the best of us come out, the best of humanity comes out. And we get to look at and get to demonstrate, how do we want to play? How do we want to show up with each other on the planet? And so it's an opportunity for us to be able to merge toward unity, as opposed to living in the duality. And they say that human beings are moving toward an evolvement. We're evolving toward that unity.
Yeah, I
and
agree
so
with you.
yeah, people like us, people that are on this call, people that are listening, people like you, that, you know, they're the light workers, they're the way showers. They show people, or we're waking up. It helps waking up humanity to really a higher consciousness. And so sometimes it just puts it into a perspective for us about how do we want to evolve. And so it's an opportunity for us. And so we're able to look at that and really focus on the beauty of the world and the blessings of the world, and to hold that, because if more and more of us on the planet can hold that vision, then that is what we are moving toward. And so it's really, it's that's the best way to describe it as far as I know. But so some people are asking questions. Should I answer some of the questions?
Yes, it's a really wonderful answer. And I really agree with you. And moreover, it is just only sufferings, you know, the opposite of the life, that actually bring awareness in us. So definitely this war will bring out something good also in the world, because a lot of people may come together, a lot of people may become aware, and a lot of people will realize self and all the whole world, and they're all, whatever they are doing with the earth, you know, so they will understand all these things. Wonderful. So before I take the question, I would like to inform my people, dear friends, see, today we are knowing about the channeling technique. Technique means channeling science, how people actually connect to the divine souls and they get guidance. So today, please, what I suggest you to not to ask your personal, all your question about your relationship or property or your future, because you should not ask here, because it is your personal thing. So what I suggest, that the seminaste.com, which already recently Alkaji has added here, you can just go to her website, which already we have given on that flyer which we have shared you. So you can just go there and you can just register your name there, and then you can get whatever best guidance you want from her. So do not expect her, because at present we are just interviewing her for your knowledge purpose. So at presently, we will take the knowledge from her, and regarding mediumship and channeling or divine, all this universal guidance, if you want to ask certain questions, because you are into a Reiki field and you are already, you know, the energy science. So related to that, whatever question you want to ask, you please ask her. So personal question you should avoid here. This is what my suggestion. Okay.
Yes,
what do you say?
yes, and Alka was, there she is. Hello,
I
Alka.
can speak now. Welcome everybody.
जैसे अलका का वॉइस चला गया था, भगवान ने वापस भेज दिया. Wonderful, Alka ji.
So welcome everybody. I am right now in Mumbai, India, and I'm excited to be here with all of you. I'm also from the States, and so Burge and me came to India a couple of months ago and had an amazing time with Guruji and had an amazing experience. So I'm the moderator today to help you all to connect and ask questions, and I'll be guiding you. So we're here to get started. Burge I just wanted to see how we want to do this the way we always do it.
Well, no, what Guruji wanted me to do is to share, like, if they have questions like about the format of how we do things and why we're doing channeling, and I was going to give a little bit example of, I'm going to go ahead and channel a little bit just to get people an idea, but it was more about how to do it and why and what it's about. And then we'll send them to shamanasta.com to join us to ask specific questions. We have that every month. It's the third Saturday of every month that we do this live for you. And you can join us at shamanasta.com and ask your personal or specific questions or things that you might want to know. And the next one coming up in March is March 18th.
18. I know.
March
18.
18th.
Yeah.
And it's 8:30. It's 8:30 at night for all of you in India, and it's 10 to 12 a.m. in the Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. So in India, though, if you're listening from India, it's going to be 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. On those Saturdays. So that we're inviting you to come play with us there. But I'll answer some of the formatting questions and those types of things on the chat.
Could I share something?
Please. Yeah.
I would like to share my experience to you all about Shamanasta. So it truly is an amazing divine experience to be with Shamanasta, and coming to the calls has really helped me connect to myself deeper, and just messages that I needed to know for my journey to be on the path where I am. So it truly is a blessing that we have Shamanasta. You don't understand like things that you're having a problem with, or you are not too sure what's happening with your business or anything. There's so much guidance here. I'm not kidding you. There's so much guidance. I have received so many pearls of wisdom from Shamanasta that has guided me on my life journey and has given me, I call it blessings, because it really empowers me to do what I'm meant to do. And it shows me things that I don't even know about myself. So it's like, it's really getting the power that you need to go on in this journey called life. That's the way I look at it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's not, and just so you know, it's not me. Just so you guys know, what I do is I kind of leave consciously. I leave and I allow them to come through and speak. And so I'm just what they call the vessel. So I'm a vessel, just like all of you are vessels, and you have information coming through. And so one of the questions they have is,
there is a question that when you connect to mediums, mediums are same every time. The mediums are same or different? Are they higher soul or ghost, etc.? So in chat box you can read that question. When you connect to mediums, every time mediums are same or different, and are they higher soul or they are ghost? So this is how they are asking. And another question is, how can we learn channeling process? So there are two questions you can just answer, please. Thank you.
Okay. So mediumship is different. When you connect with a medium, that is someone who is connecting to the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is where you can connect to people who have passed away, who have gone through the veil, who have died, that you're able to connect with on some level to have information or to speak to them. Again, maybe there's an incompletion that you have. Maybe your loved one passed away quickly and you weren't able to say goodbye, or there's you have an incomplete feeling around, or just wanting to connect with your loved ones again. Now, mediumships, they're really good. Mediums are good for doing that. That is not necessarily what I do with fifth dimension and beyond, which goes to a different level of consciousness. It goes to the avatars, the teachers, the soul group that brings in more the angelic realm and the blessings from that aspect. And that's how they describe themselves. So it's a little different with mediumship, but it's the same process. that you can go through, and how you can become, I saw some here about a chat about how can I learn how to channel. Again, we're all channels consciously. We all get information. It's just a matter of how do we interpret those messages? How do we get information when we pray or meditate, and what do we do with it? And so we're all channels, but what trans channel is when you just go out of your body and you allow the energy to come through and speak. So there are techniques that you can learn how to do that if that's something that you want to do. The first step is to understand, how do I get information from other dimensions, things that I can't see exactly? And so that's the first step, because many of you, I'm sure, are empaths, is what we call them. An empath is someone who feels other people. Okay, and Guruji is definitely an empath, I'm sure, just feeling other people and feeling the connection and having a knowing around things. And so how do you interpret what you're feeling or knowing, and how do you say it to someone? So those are the distinctions between perhaps a medium and a channel, a trans channel. I can connect with those people that have passed on, but that's not normally what they do. And I'm not in control of it. Yeah. They just come through. I'm not in control. They just come through and say whatever they're going to say. And the really cool part about it all is that they already know what you're going to ask before you ask it. Or when they speak to you, they're speaking to a group, to the vortex, to the collective of all of the people that are on the call. They already know, or kind of can tap into what it is that is a message for all of us. And what's really interesting is if you go back and listen to the recording too, when you're in the presence of Shamanasta, it's like this whole, it kind of raises the vibration a little bit, and you hear it from one perspective. But when you go back and listen to the recordings, it's really interesting because you hear it from a whole different way. And maybe you missed some of it. Maybe it didn't make any sense, but then you listen to it and it's like, oh, I get it now. Yeah.
So you conduct channeling workshops also, but you are teaching this technique to people?
Yes. Higher Vibes. So Essence of Being is my company, but it's the basic class, the workshop, where it's not about channeling that we do, but we do open up your heart and go to that emotional, spiritual side. Okay. But there's another very specific class that I do that I've been doing for 30 years, 40 years. It's called Higher Vibes. Yeah. And that's the one where we can tap into or help you strengthen your gifts that you already have. Mm-hmm. And it's called Higher Vibes. So it's part of the Essence of Being series, but it's more connected to that. Yeah.
Okay. I will just explain in Hindi also some people. दोस्तों, बर्ज ने ये सबसे बड़ी बात बताई कि जब हम चैनलिंग करते हैं तो हम फोर्थ डायमेंशंस की जो सोल होती है, हम वो जो डिपार्टेड यानी कि जो दुनिया से चली गई होती है, दिवंगत आत्माएं, हम उनके साथ मीडियमशिप उसके साथ होती है, वो चैनलिंग उनके साथ नहीं होती। चैनलिंग का मतलब ये है कि फिफ्थ डायमेंशंस में जाकर जो हायर सोल, जो असेंडेड मास्टर्स हैं, उनके साथ उनका जो है कनेक्शन होता है। तो वो जो है एक बहुत सही और परफेक्ट गाइडेंस हमें दे रहे होते हैं, यानी कि वो एक प्रकार से लर्नेड मास्टर्स हैं, तो और उनकी सोल ऊंची उठी हुई होती है, तो वहां से वो गाइडेंस जो है इनको मिलती है और वो लोगों को उसको जो है बताते हैं। तो ये कहती है कि वो जब मैं बताती हूँ तो मुझे खुद को नहीं मालूम कि मैंने क्या बताया, मेरे साथ क्या हुआ, क्योंकि वो एकदम सडन, वो एक प्रकार से टोटली ट्रांस स्टेट में चली जाती है, जो मैंने भी देखा इनको प्रैक्टिकली 2 घंटे तक मैं इनके साथ में रहा। तो अच्छा, somebody is asking, can we compare Akashic record with the channeling? Same thing?
Right. So the Akashic records, yes, you could go into the Akashic records and get information from that lineage. Absolutely. That is that is a form of channeling. Absolutely. It's a way of connecting to that particular lineage of information. Another one I saw here was, what's the difference between past life sessions and channeling?
Yeah.
And so when you're doing a past life session, as you do, and I do, right? You do those. But when you're in a past life session, it's specific toward, I'm not sure if you're asking about how you feel when you're going through the session, or if you're asking about the technique of how that works. But in essence, you're still accessing the same, you're accessing a different dimension, or you're accessing a different layer or a different level of consciousness and a different level of energy. So when you do past life, oftentimes what you're doing is you're connecting, because what they say, what Shamanasta says, is that past, present, and future is happening at all times. That you can access all of those times on that timeline, that time-space continuum is what they call it. You can access that. And so when you're doing a past life session, you're accessing that past life, and you're able to access it to bring it to a conscious level. So when you're channeling, you can access all of those all at once.
I see.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. So Akashic records and channeling, they are asking the difference. So so basically in channeling also you are connecting to the Akashic record only, no, I think.
Yes, you can. So Akashic records, from what I understand, it is a way. It's a direct lineage. For instance, Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Muslims, the religion part of the teachings, right? There are teachings that happen from different parts of humanity of bringing in information, and Akashic records is from from that energy of fifth dimension and beyond. So Akashic can also be from the ancient realms of Lemuria and Atlantis, and a lot of other places, if you want to call them places, or energies. So I look at it as a lineage. It's like that's a focus of that teaching.
So some Mr. Dilip is asking that how many dimensions are there, and in which dimensions we should grow for nirvana, basically, to get totally enlightened. So which dimension is that one? So somebody is asking this question. Yeah.
So we can ask Shamanasta that. The thing that I understand of what they say about dimensions is, oftentimes I say there's 12 dimensions. And it can go to different levels of awareness and different levels of enlightenment, if you will. And to me, my answer is different probably than Shamanasta, because I'm Burge and they're Shamanasta, right? But from what I understand, nirvana, my experience is you can experience nirvana anywhere.
Yeah. See, what I feel, Burge, that we are already into nirvana. The problem is that we don't dissolve ourselves. This is the problem, The moment you are like an ice cube, the moment you dissolve, you merge with the ocean. So then you are gone. Then whole universe is within you, and you are within the whole universe, So what I feel that nirvana means it is already there. We are not living ourselves. This is what actually happening.
Yeah. So nirvana can be, you can be in that experience on all levels. That's my belief. That you can experience that enlightenment anywhere, depending on when you access that. So one of these other questions, it says, if the person is not with us, but has taken a birth elsewhere, how can we connect with them?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's that whole believing in, gosh, just the word escaped me, reincarnation. So it's that reincarnation part. And how they've explained it to me, how Shamanasta has explained it to me, or to us, is that we are together as an ocean of souls. And those ocean of souls, that when we're all connected, it's like the ocean. And what happens when we come into a body is they say that there's a little, like a little dropper that you just get a little dropper, and you drop that unique signature of who you are, that soul part of who you are, you drop that into a body. And when that body comes to third dimension, when you're born, you're still connected to all of the ocean. It's just now you're that little dropper connected that unique signature into that body. So you can connect to anybody from any timeline at any time if you want to. So so even if someone has passed away and they've died and now maybe they reincarnated as they have a different body, they have a different look, they still have a connection of who they have always been, because it's a unique signature. It's sort of like when you meet someone and you think, oh, there you are, I've been looking for you all my life. You feel this affinity toward them, and it's because you have been with them before. And maybe you've met someone where you're like, I don't know who you are, but I cannot get near you. It's because perhaps you've met them before and there's been some kind of an incomplete cycle, is what we call it. But I don't know, did you want to give them an example of what Shamanasta does or no?
Burge, one thing I would like to ask you. See, a person who comes to this world, he has already lived so many different kinds of past lives, since many hundreds of past lives, and with a different personality, with a different name. So when we talk about a soul, then how does this discriminate the soul? The Shamanasta discriminate that this is from this life, this is from this life. So because every person has hundreds of life, and hundreds of personalities he has lived. So which personality actually they come across?
So you're saying what personality comes across because you have so many lifetimes? Is that
correct? We have lifetime. We have lived so many personalities, no? So every lifetime we had a different personality and different characters. So now when we ask the soul, then then she can see, the soul can see the hundreds of life together, no? Because everything is connected. So
right, yeah. And what they tell me about the soul is, like I said, it's unique. It's a unique, it never changes, that unique signature. However, the personality, the look, the experience, because what they have said all along is the reason why we're here is to experience, experience on third dimension. And that's why we're here.
Okay. Wonderful.
So did you want me to channel for a minute to see what it's like, or?
No, I will just see. Is there any question? आप लोगों में से किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है तो पूछ ले, फिर हम लोग, नहीं तो हम समाप्ति पे जा रहे हैं। और वैसे मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूं कि बिफोर हम अलका जी वी विल वाज कॉल्ड इसको समाप्त करेगी। बट आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि हम लोग जो है मार्च 18 को इनका एक सेशन होने वाला है, इवनिंग 8:30 PM इंडिया टाइम। उसमें ये 2 घंटा जो है इस प्रकार का सेशन, चैनलिंग सेशन लेने वाली है। उसके अंदर ये लोग जो है उसके अंदर जो है इनका एक रजिस्ट्रेशन, एक छोटा सा कोई नॉमिनल फीस होता है, तो वो लोग आप रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा के यू कैन ज्वाइन हर ऑन दैट डे। तो आप उनसे अपना कोई भी अपना पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है वो आप उस दिन पूछ सकते हैं। तो मैंने यहाँ पर थोड़ा रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया है ताकि यहाँ पे दूसरे लोग जो है ना बोर ना हो, मतलब इस बात को लेकर, ठीक है। सो नाउ वी हैव अनदर 1 or 2 क्वेश्चन, वी विल जस्ट कंप्लीट विद दैट। द क्वेश्चन इज हाउ एंड वेयर वी कैन लर्न दिस। Ajinder Singh is asking, and still not clear its comparison with PLR. Please enlighten. See, she has already explained that what is the difference between PLR and the channeling, because almost both are same. In both the things we are connecting to the 5th dimensions only, where we can know when this event will take place. See, you have to visit to samanaste.com. Samanaste.com. Alka ji is again typing for you. Samanaste.com. Alka ji, you can just type again. आप लोग नोट कर लीजिए samanaste.com. वैसे मैंने जो आपको what the flyer I have shared you, on that also I have already mentioned her this one website, because see, ultimately, my purpose is that this type of what's called techniques or science, they are very, very useful for a solution to the people. Recently, just now, Alkaji, what she said, that how channeling has helped her and how it has transformed her. So because you do not know your purpose, and you do not know anything about yourself, so sometimes the spiritual guides know, they actually perfect guide you. So what is what have happened with the Alkaji also. So Alkaji, would you like to say something about this?
Yes, I I just wanted to say that when Burge channels, these are energies that that come into her, and they answer the questions that you want, and we're going to experience that right now. So you'll see what it's all about. And like Burge said, it's not her. It's connecting to another the higher beings. They're higher beings that give you answers to your question. But I would like to say something. It's so true when Burge said they don't know you, but they will tell you about you. They might say something about you and you'll say, wow, how do they know? Because they know, they're higher. They feel energy. So it's really true. Before you ask a question, they will answer your question.
Very good. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Yes, yes.
So yeah, thank you, Alka. And can you, if I don't know if you can say that in Hindi as well, if people.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say in Hindi?
Yeah. No. No. I think almost some questions we have already clarified. So we can end the session. So Alkaji, please, you are the today moderator, so you can just.
Okay, so Burge, how would you like to do this? If you just bring in Shamanasta?
Yeah, I'll just bring in Shamanasta and have them talk, and then they'll probably, we won't.
If I look at, if there's some questions, can I ask those questions? What they type in?
Well, I would think if it's a global question.
Yeah, it's a global, but not personal question. Like what they just, so we can just go with the flow, and I will do that. Is that okay?
Please.
Yeah, and it'll just be a little bit. I'm gonna. Yeah. Hopefully they won't stay too long. They like to come in and talk, so.
Well, why don't we go with the flow, with whatever's meant to happen, let it happen.
Dear friends, वो एक practical demonstration देने जा रहे हैं आप लोगों को, जरा सा आप लोग observe कीजिएगा, please.
All right. I know. Greetings. We are pleased to be here in this time and place, and we are enjoying this transmission and wanting to be able to connect with all of you in a way that is making sense of who you are and what it is that you are wanting in your lives at this moment. And to understand what it is that you are wanting, oftentimes you have to dissect some of the things that are not working in your lives. And when you do that, you get to choose. You get to choose what's working and what is not. And many of you are just wanting to know, how do you feel safe? How do you feel connected? How do you understand why you are here? How do you understand what it is that your mission or your purpose is here? And what we want to tell all of you is this, that again, this is a theme that we would like to share with all of you around play, that many of you are very serious about spirituality. Many of you are very serious about your connection to spirit and your connection to understanding, enlightenment, and all of those things. And what we want you to know is that if you came here with an outcome in mind, then you might as well forget about it, because here's what we want to say is that when you play, when you come to this planet and you come to this body that you are in now, and you are choosing to play, there is no outcome. In other words, it is like when you were a child. When you were a child, there is no outcome to play. And you are allowing yourself to just be. You are being in the moment. You are being in that present moment, and you are experiencing and discovering and playing from the standpoint of learning. And what we want to say is that for many of you, you perhaps feel that everything has to be in the right place, in the right order, in the right time, and the right person before you feel enlightened. Everything has to be working perfectly, or perhaps you feel guilty that things are not working out the way that you want them to, and therefore you have to work even harder. And what we want you to know is that that is completely the opposite. It is completely the opposite. It's not about working hard. It is about allowing yourself to be and to play. And if you could stop for one moment and just allow yourself to play and understand that this is a game, that you have come here to play a game. And this game of life can feel like work at times. It can feel like sadness at times. It can feel like anger at times. It can feel like happiness and joy at times. It can feel like you're wanting to sing or dance at times. It can feel like you must study at times. And all of that is important to understand. All of that is necessary for you to experience. And the one message that we would like to share with you now is this, that if you are feeling upset or guilty about anything in your life at this moment, if you're feeling like maybe you have not done enough, or maybe you feel like you are not showing up exactly the way you would like to show up in the world, that if you're feeling guilty, then you will continue to create punishment, you see. And this one talks about this all the time, that when you are feeling guilty, you are vibrating guilt. And when you are vibrating guilt to the universe, then the universe will respond. It will respond by punishing you. In other words, if you feel guilty in a courtroom, then you are punished. And it can look like others are punishing you, or it can look like self-sabotage, meaning that you sabotage perhaps your own learning. You sabotage your own way of being. You sabotage yourself in many different ways, and that is a form of punishment. Therefore, what we are saying is this, dear ones, that you are innocent. That if you can look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say to yourself, I am innocent. I choose to feel innocent for just a little bit today. And to access that part of you that is that innocent child that only wanted to come here to be loved, that only wanted to come here to feel safe, that only wanted to come here to know that they make a difference, to play. If you can access the child within you that has never gone away, that innocence is still there, that if you can take action from that place of innocence, then things will be different in your life, and you will be more at peace, and you will attract more of what you really want in your life, which is to be loved, which is to feel connected. And all of those things will fall into place, and you cannot do this wrong. In other words, there is no wrong way to feel connected. So however you do this, whether it is through meditation or praying or energy sourcing this information from whatever modality you would like to use, you cannot do it wrong as long as you are accessing it from a place of innocence, wanting to know more, wanting to feel more, wanting to embrace this human body more. The dis-ease in your body is certainly just that. It is feeling uneasy around your own body, mind, and spirit. And what we want to remind all of you here is that you are innocent children, that you are innocent beings. And as long as you can look yourself in the mirror every morning and say, I am innocent and I choose to play today. I choose to look for ways that I can play, and allow yourself to feel that for a moment, then things fall into place a little bit differently. Do you understand?
Okay, yes, yes. Alkaji, please.
Yes, yes, we do.
And is there anything else that you are wanting specifically today?
Shamanasta, I would like to ask for a message for the group collectively, something for them to know here in India.
Even anything guidance for me also on my mission.
Okay.
In other words, what we would like for all of you to hear is what we have just said around play and around feeling innocent, that India is a seat of love, that India and what you have called India and what you have called your mission and your purpose here, of course, vibrates far beyond land lines and ways of being from one country to another. What we want you to hear is this, that you are all one country, that you are all one being, and that you are all connected. And the differences of language and the differences of land and the differences of hierarchy and the differences of money and the differences of relationships and all the differences of skin color and all the differences of prosperity and willingness to connect to spirit, all of those differences and all the religions and all of the parts of you that make up humanity is important. And what we mean by that is that you are on your mission, you are on your purpose, you are on your path, as long as you can allow yourself to connect to your own unique signature from a place of innocence, from a place of awareness of play. We feel that many of you have become very serious around a lot of reasons, because of course there has been the outbreak, the pandemic, the overpopulation, the poverty, the war, the dis-ease, all of the things that you can look at in humanity and say, this is not good, this is not working. And many of you are leaving the planet because of this. Many of you are saying, I can do better when I am not in my body, and I will leave my body so that I can experience this from a different place, and that I can support this evolvement of humanity from a different place. And those of you who have stayed in your bodies and who are alive now, you have chosen to be here. You have chosen to be here now. And again, as long as you can look at all of the things that feel not good, or feel unworthy, or feel all of the parts of humanity that do not make sense, if you can look at all of that as a way of expressing and demonstrating that all of that has to be experienced. All of that has to be experienced from a place of innocence, that you are moving toward unity. As this one has said, that the minute you start looking at duality of right and wrong and what is good and bad, then you are again still keeping separate from your body and your spirit, keeping separate from your connection and your longing, keeping separate from your physical and your emotional, keeping separate with each other. And what we are saying is, if you can embody all that is and say, I choose to feel all of this from an innocent place and know that we are moving toward unity. And I am here as a warrior and as a spiritual warrior that is playful. It does not have to be a spiritual warrior with a sword. It can be a spiritual warrior with laughter, with play, with allowing. And it eases your nervous system. It eases your mind. It eases your heart to rest in the knowing that all is truly well and you are on your paths. Do you understand?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
And
Alka ji, we can
there is much love here for all of you, and we will certainly be with you again. We are completely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shamanasta.
आपने देखा कि हाउ कैसे उन्होंने चैनलाइज करके मास्टरों से गाइडेंस ली है और उन्होंने अपने दिमाग से नहीं बल्कि चैनलाइजेशन करके आपको गाइड किया है. तो ये आज उन्होंने एक छोटा सा आपके सामने प्रेजेंटेशन रखा है. So Alka, can we conclude now?
Yes. Thank you, Burge. That was amazing messages from Shamanasta. And I hope you all enjoyed it. This is just a little taste for you. There's much more to come. I can't tell you, I got so much from what Shamanasta said, and I hope you all did too. This is the way to live. This is the way to live and play. And spirituality is not about just, you know, work and doing. You need to enjoy life. You need to play. And that's one of the biggest things that I have learned through Shamanasta.
Yes.
And I hope you all got a lot from this, and please attend. Our next event is coming on March 18th. Please attend. You know, by being in the session, even if you don't ask a question, I'm going to tell you that you're going to get a lot of energy and a lot of answers, because there's so many people, they're asking a question and you'll get their message from somebody else's question. This happens to me all the time. And when you come on the call, you do not need to ask a question. You can just say, do you have a message for me? That's it. And Shamanasta knows what you need and you will be given the answers. And that's the best thing I do. I don't ask a question. I just ask, what message do you have? So I enjoyed it as much as I hope you all did. Thank you for being here tonight. And Burge, always thank you for giving us this wisdom through Shamanasta.
And it's my pleasure and my honor. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all for joining this session, this wonderful session. We enjoyed with Burge. So see you soon, Burge, again. Okay. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alka.
Bye-bye.